Hello, and welcome to Health Matters. Today we're talking to Donna Boyer, who is the branch director for the Canadian Mental Health Association in Moose Jaw, and also the Friends for Life director for the Saskatchewan division of CMHA. Welcome, Donna. Today we're talking about Mental Illness Awareness Week. Why is Mental Illness Awareness Week important?
Well, we often use mental health and mental illness interchangeably, and we really need to put a little more focus on mental illness. One of the things around Mental Illness Awareness Week that we're trying to do is put the face on mental illness. And since 2004, people have allowed their image, their face, to be recognized as someone who has a mental illness. And that's the way we're going to be able to break down the stigma. Stigma really prevents people from getting help. And we really need to have people understand that there is help out there. You don't need to struggle on your own. That there's people out there that have a mental illness and have a full, productive life. They're able to function, they're able to have relationships, they're able to work and do so many things. And we really need to put some focus on mental illness and that it's okay.
So Donna, why do we need to talk about mental illness, and why not just focus on mental health?
Well, we need to because of that stigma. And the stigma is going to only stop when people pay attention to it. Right now, a lot of times we make a joke about somebody who has a mental illness, or we say something disrespectful about somebody who has a mental illness. Now, years ago, we did that with race, with multicultural, with women versus men, and it's gotten so it's not tolerated. And yet it's still tolerated to make a joke about somebody who has a mental illness. It's not uncommon to have somebody who's off work for a mental illness, and the joke in the coffee room could be, I wonder who their doctor is. I'd like to have a holiday too. Mental illness is not a time for a holiday. Mental illness is a struggle, the same as any other type of illness. People struggle with it. They need to have the same type of support. They need to know that they still have value, even though they have a mental illness. And we need to break down that stigma. So when you're doing something or talking about someone or talking to them, make sure that we use the acronym STOP. So the S stands for stereotyping. Don't stereotype the person with the mental illness. And the T is trivialize. Don't trivialize what they're going through and what's happening to them. And we don't want to, the O stands for offends. We don't want to offend the person or insult them. I did an exercise one time with people that had a long-term mental illness, and I had them just write down the things that they've heard people say about them that they felt offensive. And it didn't take them very long to have a really long list.
Oh, wow.
So people, they say things almost as if the person can't hear or can't understand, or as if that person doesn't have any value. So with the acronym P, we don't want to patronize people either. We don't want to pretend that they're not going to get better, that they're somehow less or not able to make responsible decisions. So we need to break down that stigma and get rid of that stigma around mental illness.
What does recovery mean to people who are living with mental illness?
Mental illness is something that's very cyclical. And a lot of times people feel if you have a mental illness, you never get well. And the cyclical nature of mental illness is that we have times when we're ill, we also have times when we're healthy. And so it does go up and down, depending on that. So in there's also recovery. And when we talk about recovery, we don't necessarily mean the absence of illness. What we need is to understand that we're going to have the best and the most fulfilling life we can having that illness. When we talk about physical illnesses and recovery, we're talking about if you have, like my husband, he has lung disease. So it doesn't mean that the lung disease is going to disappear. It means he has to learn how to live his life with his illness. And that's the same with the mental illness. You may not ever have it completely go away, but how can you have that fulfilling life? So you need to take care of things, the same with a physical illness. You need to get exercise, you need to have a good diet, you need to have good sleep, you need to have things in your life that are important to you. You need to feel valued, you need to have fun. You need to have all of those things. We need to have importance, all of those things that everyone needs in their life. And that's part of recovery. We need to have people around us who are going to support us. We need to have angels. We need to have support people all around us. That's recovery. Living your life to the fullest for what your life is going to be able to be.
So Donna, what final thoughts would you like us to know about this?
Just that we need to educate ourselves. We need to educate ourselves. If we have a friend or a family member who has an illness, educate yourself. Know what to expect. Know how to support them the best way you can. And if they're starting to get ill, treat them the same way that you would if they had a physical health. Encourage them to get the help that they need. Encourage them to do what they need to do. Help them get out. Help them do the things that they need to stay well.
Thank you so much, Donna, for sharing with us on this most important issue.
Thank you.